Now, before we get into the video, I want to let you guys know about Pickswise.com. Pickswise is the home of sports picks and predictions. You can find the latest college basketball picks every game for every day, and they will give you a free pick for every single March Madness game once the tournament starts, and they'll be able to load in their picks right here. They will give you reasoning, sound reasoning from expert handicappers, from expert analysts. They feature the very best of the college basketball handicappers, and especially as it gets closer to March Madness, be sure to check them out and be sure to bet better with Pickswise. Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the March 10th edition of the Bracketology update. We are now only 4 days away from Selection Sunday, and I could not be any happier. I am so freaking excited, and just taking a look at this Bracketology, it just makes me so happy for for Selection Sunday coming up, and just March Madness and the NCAA tournament in general. But before we kind of take a look here at the bubble, at the bracket, I want to let you guys know about the 7,000 subscriber giveaway that we are doing. If we hit 7,000 subscribers by Selection Sunday, which is this Sunday, March 14th, I will be giving away another $25 gift card or a t-shirt of your favorite college basketball team off of Fanatics or something like that. I'm already giving away one because we hit 6,000 subscribers. Let's see if I can give away a second one for hitting 7,000 subscribers. We've been moving fast here. We only need 560 more. I think we can do it over these next 4 days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications on, take a screenshot, send over to me at AlexPrice24 on Instagram to enter. And then that's all you got to do to enter. You'll be entered in the giveaway, and I will be doing the drawing on Sunday. The video will either be out on Sunday or Monday, just depends on timing and stuff like that. But more details are in the description below, so make sure you check that out and enter the giveaway. Before I get into the bracket as well, I want to show you guys how I create my Excel bracket. So if you go to Google, type in Excel bracket, it is this first option that pops up here from the vertex42.com. It is this tournament bracket templates for Excel. It has all the 2020 March Madness teams in there, and you just have to update each team for the bracketology or for the tournament or whatever you want to do with it. So that's how you get the bracket right there. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the bubble. Last four byes are Michigan State, VCU, Louisville, Georgia Tech. Last four in are Drake, Boise State, Colorado State, and Xavier. Drake is lost in the finals of the MVC tournament to Loyola Chicago. They will be sweating out Selection Sunday and hoping that there aren't any bid thieves in any of the major conferences. First four out are Utah State, St. Louis, Syracuse, who plays today against NC State in a must-win game for them, and Memphis. And then the next four out are Ole Miss, Seton Hall, SMU, and St. John's. Now, we did have a couple qualifiers over the last couple of days. We had Mount St. Mary's qualifying for the tournament. Prairie A&M hasn't clinched it yet. But we had Appalachian State, which, I mean, Michigan fans, you better hope that Michigan doesn't get lined up with them as a 16 seed right now, right there. Right now, they're matched up with Illinois, but you never know. It could be a rematch of that 2007 college football game against Michigan with the biggest upset of the century or something like that. It's probably not the biggest point spread-wise, but I remember it being a huge deal, and it's just fun to see. But taking a look here at the rest of the bracket, Gonzaga was able to win their conference tournament last night, the WCC, after being down by 12 to BYU at halftime, which is pretty crazy to see. I thought BYU might have had a chance to win that game, but Gonzaga came back, ended up winning by double digits, which was crazy. But then we have Baylor over there as the other one seed, or the main number 2, 1 seed, whatever you want to call it. And then Michigan and Illinois rounding out the 1 spots. Then we have Ohio State, Iowa, Alabama, and Houston at the 2 lines. As I mentioned in the Monday Bracketology video, Houston was able to escape with a win over Memphis with a crazy half-court shot. It was really interesting to see. But today starts off the major conference tournaments with the ACC really kicking off. I know yesterday they had Notre Dame and then Miami winning their first round games along with Duke. But today is really the start of it. I know the Big East is also kicking off as well. Maybe the Big 12, I think, is also kicking off. I'm not 100% sure, but then tomorrow it's going to be even better. So I'm just really excited to see how March goes for the rest of these teams. And let's go ahead and start with our predictions here. But actually, I almost forgot. Before we get into the predictions, we got to come up with a food item. And we are going to go with a food item that I had a couple of days ago. I had the stir fry from the Tattooed Chef. Tattooed Chef is a company that I really enjoy their food right now. I'm really starting to look into comment stir fry below. It was fantastic by them, and I'm just super excited to really try some more stir fry by them. So don't know if any of you guys are really stir fry fans, but go and comment it below. If you haven't tried it, go try it. If you have tried it before, let me know what you think of it. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, but it was actually really good. So let's go ahead and kick off the predictions. So up first, we're obviously going to have Gonzaga here moving on past the winner of A&T and Mount St. Mary's. Then I am going to go with LSU moving on here past St. Bonaventure. I think Cameron Thomas can lead LSU to a first-round victory over St. Bonaventure. Then I'm also going to go with Florida State here past the winner of Colorado State and Xavier, which I think would be Colorado State at this point. Then I'm also going to go with Purdue here moving on past UC Santa Barbara. Then I'm going to go with a first-round upset here. I'm going to go with Michigan State pulling off the 11/6 over Oregon. Now, I know I haven't been picking Oregon to win in very many of my recent bracketologies or the Pac-12 conference tournament. There's nothing that I have against Oregon. I just think that Michigan State is a great upset candidate there. I think if Oregon was matched up with, say, another 11 seed, like maybe VCU or Georgia Tech or something like that, maybe. Actually, I think Georgia Tech, I picked them to upset Oregon. But anyway, I think Oregon can win some first-round games. I just don't think it will be here against Michigan State. Then we're going to go with Kansas here, moving on past Grand Canyon. San Diego State, I think, is really good this year, and I think they'll be able to beat Louisville. Louisville just, I don't really know what's going on with them. They, I think, played their way up to like a 6 or a 5 seed, I think, at one point this year. But now they find themselves as a last 4 bye, so they got to avoid an upset and a loss in the first round of ACC tournament, or else they'll be sweating it out on Selection Sunday. Then we're going to go with Ohio State here, moving on past Drexel. Then Gonzaga, I think they'll get tested here by LSU, but I think they'll be able to win there against LSU. Then I am also going to go with Florida State here, moving on past Purdue. I think Purdue can win that game, but I think that Florida State has a better chance of moving on to the Sweet 16. Then I'm also going to go with Kansas here, moving on past Michigan State, and then Ohio State moving on past San Diego State. Then I am going to go with Gonzaga winning this game. I know I went with Florida State, beating Gonzaga, upsetting them as a 5/1 in that last bracketology video I did on Monday. But you guys let me know what you think. You guys made a really good point that, I mean, Florida State isn't as good as Gonzaga. They just lost to Notre Dame. Gonzaga just won their conference tournament, showed that they can come back from a deficit. I do think that Gonzaga will end up winning that game. And then I'm going to go with Kansas here, pulling off the 3/2 upset. I've been saying it all along over these last couple of weeks, and it's been proven that Ohio State just doesn't have the defensive firepower down low to deal with bigs. You look at Hunter Dickinson with Michigan. Look at Luka Garza with Iowa. Look at Kofi Coburn with Illinois. Ohio State has lost to all of those teams because they just can't deal with those big guys down low, and Kansas has a big guy in David McCormick who will give Ohio State some fits down there. Ohio State, I think, is an Elite 8 team, but just not against a team that has a really good center like Kansas. But then Kansas will lose to Gonzaga. I got Gonzaga here moving on to the Final Four out of Region 1. So we're going to take a look here at Region 2 and go with Baylor over Nicholls State. Then Connecticut, I think, will be able to get the 9/8 victory over Missouri. Creighton, I think, they did announce that their coach, Greg McDermott, is back with the program and is going to be coaching in the Big East tournament. So no worries with that. I mean, there's still worries, obviously, with the comments that he made. But basketball-wise, I think that team is going to be good to go from now on. But then I'm also going to go with an upset pick here with 13 seed Western Kentucky pulling off the upset over Virginia with potential first-round pick, I should say, Charles Bassey. Western Kentucky is one of my favorite sleeper candidates in the NCAA tournament as a double-digit seed. I think they could pull off the upset there over Virginia. Then I'm also going to go with another upset here with an 11/6 with VCU upsetting Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been downtrending recently. I think they've lost like 4 out of their last 6 games. I think they've lost 4 in a row at this point as well. They've fallen from a 2 seed down to a 6 now. VCU now has Bones Highland back. He is their best player, and without him, I don't think that they would win that game. But with him back, I think that they can get the 11/6 upset. Then I'm going to go with Arkansas moving on past Southern Utah, Maryland pulling off the 10/7 over Clemson, and then Iowa beating Cleveland State. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Baylor here moving on past Connecticut. Creighton, I do think, would beat Western Kentucky as much as I want to. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with an upset. Why not let it fly? Why not do it with Bracketology? Why not have fun with this and go with 13 seed Western Kentucky and Charles Bassey moving on here to the Sweet 16 over Creighton? Got to have a couple of double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16 to make it fun. Then we're going to go with Arkansas here moving on past VCU, and then Iowa will move on past Maryland. Then we have, for a spot in the Elite 8, Western Kentucky's run is going to come to an end there. Baylor will be able to beat Western Kentucky as much as I want to pick Western Kentucky to move on. And then I'm going to go with 3 seed Arkansas, upsetting, if you want to call it that, Iowa. Arkansas is one of the hottest teams in the nation right now. I think they've won 10 out of their last 11 games. I mean, Iowa, no slacks themselves. They're looking really hot too. I think they've won 5 out of their last 6 or something like that. But I think that Arkansas is just playing great, fantastic basketball right now. Got really good players, especially with Moses Moody down low to battle with Luka Garza, who is a national player, or will be the national player of the year. I can't imagine anybody else is going to be able to take that title from him this year. But I just think that Arkansas will be able to pull off the 3-2 upset over Iowa. But then for a spot in the Final Four, I am torn on this matchup right here, Arkansas and Baylor. But I am going to go with 3-seed Arkansas upsetting Baylor. I don't want to have all 4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four because that hasn't happened since 2008. And I think that this may be a region to do it. Baylor, I think, has only lost one time this season to Kansas. But I think that Arkansas would give them their second loss here if they don't get another one in the Big 12 tournament. I think Baylor is a fantastic team, but I just have questions if their shooting does not fall like it didn't against Kansas and really against Iowa State. They were able to escape with a victory there. I just have questions surrounding that program. I think Baylor is a national championship contender. I mean, heck, I picked Baylor to win the national championship in Monday's bracket, but it's just about who you're matched up with. I like the hot team of Arkansas moving on from that region. Then we're going to go down here to Region 3. Michigan will move on past Hartford. Then I think that Florida will be able to beat Virginia Tech. I don't know if Virginia Tech's going to be even able to make the tournament, just with the COVID issues going on within that program. So hopefully they stay healthy and will be able to get their program back in check in time for the tournament. And Colorado will beat Winthrop. I know Winthrop's going to be a popular sleeper pick, especially with them being like 23-1 with the only 1 loss. But I'm just not feeling it with that program this year. Then we got Oklahoma State here moving on past Liberty. Then I think that Georgia Tech will pull off another 11-6, which means I have all 3 11 seeds upsetting 6 seeds as of right now. I just love Georgia Tech right now, especially, and not really with Tennessee. I think they're like 6-6 over their last 12 games. Then I think that West Virginia will be able to beat Morehead State. Wisconsin, I think, can beat UCLA, along with Houston beating Oral Roberts. Then we're going to go with Michigan here, moving on to the Sweet 16 over Florida, along with Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham over Colorado. Then West Virginia will move on here past Georgia Tech, and then Houston can move on past Wisconsin. Then Michigan, as much as I want to pick Oklahoma State to pull off an upset there with Cade Cunningham, I think it can happen, but I think Michigan is just too well-rounded, and I think that they will make the final, or not the Final Four, the Elite Eight out of this region. And then they will face the winner of Houston and West Virginia, which I think will be West Virginia. They are playing fantastic basketball right now. And they've come up really close in recent losses to Oklahoma State and Baylor, but I think that team is well equipped to make a run in the NCAA tournament. But that will come to an end here in the Elite Eight because I think that Michigan will be able to make the Final Four. So then over here in Region 4, we have Illinois moving on past the winner of Appalachian State and Prairie View A&M. Loyola Chicago, I think, can move on here in an 8-9 victory. Texas Tech will handle the winner of Drake and Boise State, which I think would be Boise State just because Drake has been dealing with some recent issues injuries in that program. Then I'm going to go with another upset here. I'm going to go with 13-seed UNC Greensboro upsetting Villanova. Villanova has lost their senior point guard in Colin Gillespie, a lot of experience being lost there. Then they also just lost Justin Moore. That program is dealing with a ton of injuries at the worst possible time. They just lost to Providence on the road, and that was a bad loss. We'll see what happens in the Big East tournament, but right now I think that team is ripe for a first-round upset with UNC Greensboro. Then I'm going to go with USC and Evan Mobley here, moving on past Wichita State. Texas, I think, can beat Colgate. BYU, I'm finally going to pick them to win a tournament game. I'm going to pick them to beat Rutgers, and then Alabama will beat Siena. Then Illinois will move on in the battle of the 2 Illinois teams here from Loyola Chicago. Illinois will move on here to the Sweet 16, along with Texas Tech beating UNC Greensboro. I think that Texas can beat USC, and then Alabama will move on here past BYU as well. Then Illinois will move on here, a battle of 2 of my favorite teams in the tournament this year, with Illinois and Texas Tech having to meet here in the Sweet 16. I got Illinois here moving on past Texas Tech, along with Alabama moving on here past Texas. That matchup is a complete 50-50 toss-up. That's like a dream matchup for a lot of you college football fans. But I think that Alabama has proven themselves to be a fantastic team, a top team in college basketball this year. I think they get the victory there and move on to the Elite Eight for, I don't even know when the last time Alabama's basketball program made the Elite Eight. But they will fall to Illinois. I just love Illinois this year. So then in the Final Four here, Gonzaga and Illinois, I am going to go with Illinois. Illinois is a team that can win the national championship, in my opinion. I love the duo of Ayo Dosunmu and Kofi Cockburn. I think that they can beat the victory. I think they can beat the victory. I think that they can beat Gonzaga. I think they really are the only team that can beat Gonzaga in the tournament. I think Gonzaga would beat anybody else. I'm backtracking my Florida State comment from Monday, but they will face the winner of Arkansas and Michigan, which, you know what, I'm going to go with an upset pick here. I am going to go, actually, I'm going to backtrack on that. I'm going to go with Michigan. That is another 50-50 toss-up for me. Do I go with the hot team in Arkansas, or do I go with the better, well-rounded team in Michigan? I went with the hot team whenever I chose between Baylor and Arkansas, but I think I'm going to go with the well-rounded team here with Michigan moving on, which sets up an all-Big Ten final of Illinois and Michigan. These two teams just played a couple of weeks ago where Illinois just absolutely destroyed Michigan without Ayo Dosunmu. And I think that would happen again now that he's back. I don't think it would be a huge, massive margin of victory like it was, but obviously it's going to be closer. But I think the result will be the same. I have Illinois winning the national championship here in this bracketology. So let me know what you guys think of this bracketology. Let me know your own comments and predictions in the comment section below. I had a lot of fun making this video. Make sure you enter the 7,000 subscriber giveaway. Let me know your own predictions and all that stuff. And oh man, 4 days to go until Selection Sunday. So I'm just super excited for that. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you all later.